Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of the podcast. This week I am very excited because I am joined by a special guest who is a serial diploma student. She has completed all three of the silver-based diploma programs. Well, she's on the advanced diploma at the moment and she has her own jewellery business. She's also started teaching for us at Jewellers Academy Brighton. So lots of exciting things happening. And we're going to share her story with you guys today. And her name is Risza, the lovely Risza Lopes da Cruz. And she has her own jewelry business, which is called Risza Jewellery. And you can also find her on Instagram at by_Risza, but we'll share more about that later. But yeah, welcome, Risza. Lovely to have you on the podcast today.
Thanks so much for having me, Jess. Nice to be here.
I'm excited to hear more about your journey and to unfold because we all have our own unique stories, don't we? Of coming into jewelry, when it started, how it's going, how we're fitting it in around everything else. So, to start us off at the beginning, how did you get involved in jewelry making? Is it something recent? Have you been doing it all your life? How did it come about?
Okay, let's just start with a bit of context. So, I am from Indonesia, born and raised in Jakarta, but my family is originally from East Timor. So I'm from Southeast Asia. East Timor used to be part of Indonesia and then again independence, 2002. So after the independence, I went back to Timor to see what it's like. Both my sisters were there, and we've always, we grew up surrounded by culture. Our parents are very cultural and lots of traditions. We used to do lots of even, traditional dance.
Amazing. Love it.
I'm not a dancer. So I went back to Timor and we said, my sister and I, we said, we really want to produce quality jewelry, quality souvenir, because Timor is such a small country. At the moment, it has like 4 million people only. And it's quite a poor country. It is a poor country.
Mm.
But it's very different now. So I went back there, started a job that I didn't really like in the government. And then I found my way to the expat communities there. And I started beading. I had a son. My son was only 6 months, I think, then. I started beading. And I said, Risza, why didn't you sell your jewelry? Because there's nowhere we can find that, sells nice things. But I like taking everything apart, the traditional bits, traditional objects like necklaces, and I take them apart and create something different with my twist. So they loved it, and one of my expat friends shared a table with me, and I had like this little space, and then just I made, I don't know, it's a different market. I made $5,000 in 4 hours. And I
Wow.
was really surprised. I was like, oh my God, people actually like what I do, what I make. And that just boosted my confidence. Um, I mean, it's never like that again. Maybe
Very
one day.
isn't it? It's a very encouraging start to be
Yeah.
like, oh, there is a market here, and yeah, people are enjoying what I've made. And you must have made quite a lot of stock to be able to sell that.
I mean, I nearly sold out. I work with a local silversmith there. Um, for the metal things. I like to incorporate metal in my beads.
Mm.
And so we did that for a few years. I loved it. Loved meeting the clients. Loved just exploring what I can do with all the traditional, designs and techniques, and just working with this guy. And then I think because he can see that, oh, actually people like what I design. So he sort of, I don't know, I don't want to say it, it's a bit naughty. So started to sell my design to other people. So I was like, oh, actually, this is the reality, isn't it? So, people do copy jewelry, they copy, I don't know, technology, whatever. So I said, actually, why don't I make it? If he can do it, I said, I can do it.
Maybe the push you needed to be like, I can make the jewelry too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Timor is very close to Bali in Indonesia. So it's like 2 hour flight. So I said, actually, I really want to do this because this guy is really annoying me. So I went to Bali, took a tourist, one of those tourist jewelry making, ring making classes for I think 3 days, and I loved it. And so I decided. So the teachers there they helped me to gather all my jewelry tools. I flew them back to Timor. We had to smuggle borax into the country because it wasn't on offer.
It's not allowed. No borax allowed, but you can't solder without it, can you? You need the flux.
No. Even my the silversmith I was working with, she's like, "How did you get it?" I was like, "Well, actually, don't tell anybody about." So yeah, so I started with that. I started with just watching YouTube videos on how to make things. Just make little bits and pieces. So I continued that, and then my jewelry business grew and grew. Um, and so I think 5 years later, we decided to move to England, to Brighton, because my husband's family is here. And basically, I left my jewelry business in Timor, and all of my customers are there. I still keep contact with some of them. They still order some things for me from here, but it's very difficult to send things back to Timor
Mm.
from the UK. So in 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 the UK, it was really I lost my mojo, Jess. The first couple
It's
of
difficult
years.
to start again, isn't it? Especially if you've already built a business somewhere and you've lost basically all your customers, all your
Yes.
designs, but all your story, I suppose, because the story behind it, from what I gather, is taking local traditional pieces and redesigning them and creating something new. And then you're suddenly over here and it's like, I'm in Brighton. What do I do now?
Uh, and then I found out, all of this, established jewelers. Oh my God, I was excited to go into the lane. I was like, oh my God, I felt like an imposter. I felt like a fraud because I never studied jewelry making before. So I enrolled in some of the night classes in the college. I think I met with a stone setter who was willing to give his time, for me to use his studio. But I never got that creativity back. I enrolled in some online courses, but I never finished what I started because there's no, I just, not like the Jules Academy, I have to send in my work. Yeah, I didn't, so I needed a structure, I needed a routine. And yeah, so that's how I found you. you.
Amazing. And what was your first interaction with Jewelers Academy? Did you find us through YouTube, or was it through other jewelers, or how? Tell us that part of the journey.
I'm not sure. I think it could be from all of just the websites, all of my searches of
Mm.
to make things. I found another online uh, like school, but I don't think they're based here.
Mm.
So I followed that, and then I somehow the search engine, found
We
me.
found you.
Oh my God, I can do this from my home. So yeah, at that time I still have my studio at home. So this worked really well because I have two small kids. They're not small anymore now, but yeah. So the schedule just it's based on my schedule. I
Mm.
think I like the flexibility of it, but a structured course. That's what I need.
Mm. Absolutely. The accountability is so important, isn't it? I think especially when it's hard going from having an established business somewhere to being sort of starting all over again. And I feel like having the help. I mean, it's hard anyway starting from scratch, but starting almost the second time can be harder. I mean, I guess in some ways it's easier because you've got some experience, so you have some transferable skills. But in terms of the motivation piece, it's like, oh, how do I how
Yeah.
do I get going again?
Yeah,
Um,
it's a different market because people don't know where East Timor is from. East Timor is,
mm,
and just to have that connection, people don't have that connection, you know.
mm,
So it's difficult to present my work. I have to always tell the stories before they get it.
yeah.
But it's just part of it, isn't it?
And
Um,
I think maybe it's the best part of it as well, is that there is this story behind it. Like I understand it can be challenging because you have to say the same story over and over again. But I suppose there's different ways to communicate it, isn't there? And I think it just adds another layer of interest and excitement, especially for a buyer, because it's like there's this whole history and this whole background behind what they're buying, not just that they love. the piece. But yeah, I think it's harder perhaps, but also brings a new richness to it. And so you started with the diploma in silver jewellery
Mhm.
online. What was it like doing that? Because you'd done a bit of jewelry making before. Were you nervous before you started? Like, who are these people? What is this program? Or were you just like, I'm here, I'm ready, let's do it? What talk us through your vibe.
I think I was super excited. You know, when I ordered the materials from you, and when it arrived, I was like, oh my god, this is happening. This is real. You know, I'm gonna be enrolled in a diploma. You know, my first ever one. I was super excited, and I think because I enrolled in the silver one because I wasn't sure if I was my techniques are good enough.
Mm,
I know I have the basic skills, but I don't know how good I am, you know. So I think the silver diploma is a good start to give me validation and also just to improve a bit more, you know. Sometimes, you know, you just get lots of tips and tricks, you know, from the mentors and the classes, and I love that. And it started really, it's a nice ease into and more refined pieces. You know,
mm.
you start from how to put on the, you know, soul blade on your soul frame, you know, things like that. Like, oh yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, right at the beginning. Well, and it's quite nice to watch something that some things that you can do. So it's not all new. I mean, there are people who are totally new and come on a diploma, and that's absolutely fine, and they're very welcome too. But I think you're right. We see more and more people now who are like, I can do jewelry, but I just want to make sure that I'm doing it right and get that. I think it's a confidence boost as well, isn't it? And the reassurance having another jeweler say, yes, that is right. You've got it. Don't worry. It helps with the imposter syndrome, I suppose.
Absolutely. And the fact that we send our projects after each term and you get feedback immediately, you say, actually, did I do that all right? Or, you know, and it's amazing what the feedback that you get. You know, your mentors are so generous with knowledge, and whatever you want, basically, whatever you need, they'll tell you or they'll find someone to help.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
And when you were doing the diploma in silver, had you started your business again over here, or were you in the stages of starting? What was your business journey like alongside the diplomas? Was it sort of chicken and egg, or just throwing it all in, or what was it like?
So I think I started with I started making again, just trying to get just to test the water a little bit.
Mm,
A little bit. So I joined the artist open houses actually. I'm so lucky. I live in the center of Brighton. Excuse me. So I can open my house for the artist open houses. And it's just nice to see the feedback that people give me. But to be able to afford the diplomas, I had to, I guess, they go hand in hand,
mm.
my business and the diploma, because otherwise I can't afford it.
Yeah. So were you selling your work to pay for the monthly
Yes,
installment?
I
Did you
still
sign
do.
up with the monthly payment plans? Yeah. I
Oh
think
God,
a lot.
without monthly payment, honestly.
And and was it stressful? Or were you just like, do you know what? I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna sell the pieces I need. Yeah.
I made it happen. I just sold more pieces. I tried different markets. You know, it's actually it's a nice journey to be in.
Mm.
I can still make things because that's what I like, and sell them and get money so I can learn more. You know, I literally invest in myself.
I love that though, and I think it's so important, because a lot of people look at some of the programs, like our programs, or any big sort of commitment in terms of training, and think, well, do I have that spare right now? But when you see it as an investment, it's like I don't need, and especially if there's a payment plan, it's like I don't need it spare. I just need to be able to pay for month one,
Yes.
and make some stuff, and kind of figure it out, get some sales in, just enough to pay for the next month, and kind of following it on. And actually, I've noticed that many jewelers that do that, their businesses grow really quickly because they're motivated to grow the business at the same time, because it's like you said, each one is kind of fueling the other. And from the silver diploma, I know it was a little while ago now, but what were some of your favorite parts of it, either projects or mentoring, or what was the
Mm.
bits that you loved the most?
Oh my god. I think I like jewelry with functionality. So I've always wanted to learn the hinge, trying to create hinges and riveting, all of that I love.
Mhm.
Um, Always love granulation, so that's covered in the diploma as well. What else was there?
Yeah, you can kind of see that in your work. There's a lot of movement, texture, um, personality, like you say. I think is kind of what I see come out in the pieces that you're making too. And I guess your style has refined over
Oh,
the time. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think looking back at what I first made,
We all have those. We all have those initial pieces that we are so proud of, and they're still awesome, in their own way. But it's like, yeah, the progression is amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. And do you remember who your mentor was for the silver diploma?
Oh my goodness.
Some
Chloe?
ago.
Chloe Mitchell?
Oh yeah, Chloe. She's
Yes.
lovely. Yeah.
She loves granulation as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So that worked well for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so you finished the silver diploma, your jewelry business was happening, you were selling in Brighton open houses. Were you selling online because you're on Instagram as well? Like what tell us
Mm.
about your online journey, or are you mostly an in-person sales business?
I started my Instagram, I started my website, I think, but I was trying to do too much at the same time. So I wasn't really paying attention to, I mean, I've got a website, yay, and then don't know what I'm doing. So I still need to work on that until now, actually. Because I just love the making bit and I don't like that, the
It's it's an ongoing process, yeah, running the business for sure.
But yeah, so I met really nice friends in Brighton. So some of my work are in their gallery. So that really helped me.
Mm.
Uh, at the moment, I have three stockists in Brighton, just small collections, and they all add up. They all help me with them because the advanced one is not very cheap.
No, there's a little bit more in the advance because you've got stone
Yes.
engravers and kits as well. But yeah, and I think what you're talking about really highlights as well from a business perspective, like the idea of local networking and knowing people nearby. So you moved from, you know, the other side of the world and you were able to go out and make friendships and build connections. And actually that's often what does lead to those initial sales, I think, is the talking to people and sharing and, oh yeah, I've got a jewelry business, oh we know someone who's got a gallery, all those kind of intangibles are so important, aren't they? And I think you've done a great job of that, and we see that with you in the studios in Brighton as well. And at the moment we've got the artist open house as well on, and you're exhibiting, which is brilliant. So I feel like a theme with you is you put yourself out there, you're like, let's do it,
Yeah.
let's go for it.
I'm
And
really uncomfortable in putting myself out there, but I think that's the only way for me. I work better under pressure. Yeah.
well, awesome. So, okay, so you finished the silver diploma. Did you always know you were going to go on to the fine, or did you think, yeah, tell us about your journey to joining the fine diploma?
Oh my God. I think because I was in it and I really enjoyed it and I actually produced better things, better. I just felt really motivated and inspired, because you meet other jewelers as well. Some are, on the same journey. It's amazing. And yeah, I was like, yes, I can afford another diploma. Why not? Like we
Yeah, love it. Well, I'm so glad you did, because, we got to keep you engaged in the community longer. And what was it like doing the fine diploma for you?
Oh, it was so good. I had Michael, is it Michael
Yeah,
Malloy?
Michael Malloy is your mentor. He's awesome.
Already, yeah, I was already stalking him on Instagram. It's because he makes bigger pieces, catwalk pieces, and I love that. I think I started with bigger pieces because that's just how the traditional objects are from East Timor. They're just bigger, and then I'm just trying to refine them even more, smaller and smaller and smaller. But then sometimes it's so nice to be able to create something that is just not the usual things you create. And Michael, I think one of my favorite things is just incorporating other materials in my work. I never thought about it until I, getting the diploma. Like, why don't you use that? Like, oh yeah, why didn't I use that? It's just thinking about it and just having an expert advising you. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's thinking outside the box, isn't it? Because I think you're right. To begin with, for a lot of us, the journey is I just want to be able to make jewelry, and for someone to say that it's good enough. Like yes, you can do it. You can solder, you can saw, you can file, you can stone set. And to begin with, that's just such a big mountain to climb anyway. That it's just amazing. But then after you've kind of got those skills under your belt, it's like, but how do I express myself and make something that is me? And that's when things like potentially like different materials might come in. Talked about different scale, and then working with a mentor who's like, yeah, it's fine to add in wood or stones or feathers or something that we just never thought about, and how would we go about doing that, and what would that look like, and how could we create a collection out of that represents our business as well. So yeah, I can understand that would have been a fun journey. What was one of your favorite projects from the Fine Diploma? If you can differentiate, sometimes all the projects roll into one, and I'm like,
I
which
know.
one's wrong?
Uh, I remember loving making the final piece actually. Uh,
Mm.
Obviously, because that I have more a year, more technique or more skills to add on to that final project. But it was just so Michael suggested, right? You're in England, make something that is because we were given, I think we were given freedom to make a collection of that is cohesive. I was,
Yes.
what am I going to do?
Yeah, three-piece cohesive collection that defines your signature style. No pressure.
Yeah. It was harder than, just being given, you need to use 3 techniques, and then you go for it. But this was, it took a long time for me to figure it out. And then I wanted to incorporate the English culture. So I use a Victorian piece of jewelry as my inspiration, but actually to make them using Timorese objects and the texture. Yeah, I really, really loved it.
Oh,
Final
amazing.
project.
Final project. I love that. I love seeing the final projects. It's amazing seeing what you guys come up with such different results, from the same training, which is always fascinating to me.
And
So,
also,
yeah.
because sorry,
Go for it.
I forgot that the fine jewelry, I think we learned a lot of settings as well.
Mm.
Yeah, which I really wanted to learn. Just adding those gemstones with colors into my work. I love that. And it's not easy, but yeah.
Absolutely obsessed with stone setting. So there's always loads, but you're right. It kind of more and more stone setting is added each year. You go up in the diplomas because it's like let's set some more stones. But it's yeah, my favorite part about it as well.
Oh.
And then so you've done the silver, you've done the fine. Your business is growing, awesome. What were your thoughts about the advanced? Did you know, like, okay, I want to do it all, or were you considering? Because,
I
like,
mean,
this
because
is,
I thought to myself, right, I've already done 2 years and I still can afford it. It's given me a routine, I suppose.
mm,
And it's given me. I just grew and grew in my work. I think in my design, it's just more refined, and I love that. That is the aim. In joining the diplomas, and then the advanced is just, oh my god, it's so difficult. I was like, yeah, I think I had to find another job. So I am also working in Oxfam.
okay, yeah. Well, it's good to have variety sometimes. Yeah.
um, it's just because it's higher in price, obviously,
Mm,
and then it's not including the material or the tools.
mm,
So, and then I think there's working with 18 karat gold. It was a bit daunting in the beginning, like, do I want to do this?
mm.
Yeah, come on, why not another year? So I did it. Yeah, enrolled, and I love it. There's only a few projects in the advanced diploma, but they're all quite difficult.
Yeah, you have a few more weeks to complete each one, don't you? Because it's going to take the additional time. And I find that people get more independent towards the advanced level as well, as they're sort of just like you said, the routines have been established, so you're sort of just getting down and getting into it and exploring and just delving into the making world, and just being in it a lot. And there's lots of micro settings. There's lots of pieces. What are some of your favorite bits about the advanced diploma?
All of the settings, channel setting, pathway setting, what else is there?
There's like,
Tension setting.
yes.
Oh
I
my,
saw the attention set ring on Instagram the other day. It was beautiful. I was like, oh, you did it. Well done.
it's so funny because one of the settings that I saw ages ago before I even got to England, I said, how did they make that? And now I can. It's ridiculous, but it's amazing at the same time.
I know it's incredible to think when you first started doing your beading, way back when, that now you're like a fully trained jeweler and this is your full time thing. And yeah, how incredible is that?
It is quite impressive. And I mean, I can't thank the Jewelers Academy enough, actually, for giving me that. Yeah, thank you.
Well, you're very welcome, and we're lucky to have you. And it's been all your hard work and dedication as well. So we can do our side, but you're also doing yours, which is just, yeah, really inspiring to hear. And so now, to coming to the end of the advanced, congratulations. And business is kind of, keeping going, keeping doing all the things. Like you said, you're going to be working on some bits. And you're also going to be coming and teaching some workshops, aren't you, in Brighton? Tell us a bit about that and just yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm a mom of two, so I teach anyway, the kids, their friends, making things with them. But just recently, I taught a class for wedding ring, so for a couple who came down from Leeds, and wanted to make jewelry in my little studio. So we did that, and I loved it, and they loved it. So I had a really, really good experience to start with as well. So I thought joining the Jewelers Academy Brighton, teaching there, not only will I get myself out there again, which I need to do all the time, but I, the teaching would give me more. There's more value in that, and I love sharing. Just sharing, making things with
Mhm.
people, beautiful things. Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yes, me too. And students are going to be so lucky to learn from you because you've had such an array of experience now in your own making and in this development and all the mentorship that you've had and everything. So it's so wonderful to be able to start passing that on, for people like us who enjoy doing that and gives us energy. And like you said, we learn from the students and it kind of just becomes this wonderful cycle. So very excited for that. So you've already done so much in the time that you've, been in jewelry, running your business. What would you say is your proudest achievement to date in jewelry so far?
Oh, that's a tough question.
I'm putting you on the spot.
um, my biggest achievement, I think to to be able to just put myself out there and be free in my design. So
Mhm.
now all of the skills I learned from the from the diploma, I can put it into something that I'm going to cherish so much. Sometimes I just keep, the pieces that I absolutely love to myself for myself. But I think people can see when I make something with passion, with the emotional side of things that I pour into the jewelry. People can actually see it, and I love that, and I love being able to do that, and to that is a little bit of me in the
Mhm.
piece that I make, but in a refined way. So I think that's the achievement. I mean, there's one particular project in the advanced diploma that I absolutely love, which was a brooch that I make in honor of my sister who has passed away. But it was the most beautiful thing. I think the mentors even emotional giving me feedback because she could see it, and that is the achievement that I want. I want to make something that's meaningful. Yeah, and that people can connect to.
Mm. I love that. And I think, yeah, you're using all of your skills, you're using your technical skills, you're using your storytelling skills and like being able to communicate and connect with others. And you're also helping others, in terms of giving them something that is meaningful to them. And I think jewelry, especially handmade jewelry, is so meaningful. That's why people buy it. It's when you work in shops or galleries, you see it all the time as people come in and it's, oh, it's a special birthday or it's a special anniversary or it's an engagement or a wedding or a bereavement, and all of them are such important moments. And it's great that we get to be part of them through our making and through our craft. And yeah, I think storytelling is such a key part of what you do, and you do it in quite a unique way, which is awesome. So what is next for your jewelry business? Like, what's your vision? What would you love? Are you just happy with what you're doing? You just want to keep doing it? Or is there any sort of goal or thing that you'd like to achieve in the future?
Mm. I would like to keep doing it because I love the making part of it. That's my passion. I could get lost in making for days. I don't forget to eat sometimes. Like, oh my god, but I love that, and it's a job that is not a job that I really enjoy. I would love to continue making, continue selling my jewelry, promoting my country. Um, and also just exploring the teaching bit of it, because I love traveling and I want to go back to Timor and actually teach there,
Mm.
because I don't think there's female Jew silversmiths in Timor. So I would love to be able to go back, maybe bring some of my tools to
Some of them in. Yeah, sounds good.
yeah.
Mm.
I know there's lots of female jewelry makers in Indonesia, like in Bali or Yogyakarta, but I don't think there's any female silversmith in East Timor. So I would like to go back and do that maybe one day.
Wonderful. I love that. And there's so much potential that you have, and there's so much that you can offer, and you're already living the dream. This is it. Running the jewelry business, teaching, doing all of the things. Um so if anyone listening was thinking about signing up to any of the diploma programs, what would your advice be for them?
Oh, just go for it. Just sign up immediately if you're serious about it. Even if you just want to, test it out. Just, and you will be surprised how much you can grow in a year's time. In a diploma, definitely go for it.
Mm.
Like we said, there's always financial ways of doing things. You can sell, you can work, you can, pay in installments, all of that. And also you get discounts.
That's true. As you go through, there's a potential for that. Absolutely. I love that. And anyone who has signed up or is signing up, are there any tips you'd give them? What worked for you in terms of whether it's to do with like fitting it in around family or, timing, or like, not letting go of perfectionism? What kind of mantras helped you as you went through the diploma?
I think, I love the diplomas because, you get, I think, weekly Zoom with the mentors, and people bring in the wine, the dogs. It's the community, so you can actually fit it in your schedule. I mean, I have two kids who are football fanatics, so I have football every single day and weekend. So if I could do that, I'm sure people can fit in it. I mean, you make the time for things that you love, that um, if you're serious in investing in yourself, do it and just push yourself even further. I think for if you join the diplomas, yes, there are projects, but what can you do more than that? I think we always have to push yourself a little bit higher, a little bit, give a bit more than what was asked for in each project, and then see how far you can go.
Mhm. I love that. So you use them to kind of, yes, complete the task, but also to challenge yourself and give yourself almost like taking some energy, like you said, and then like how can I move it forwards and how can I get inspired by this and make it my own a little bit as well, which I think does happen, especially the further along you go and the more experience you get, which is so lovely to see. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for coming and sharing about your journey today. It's so fascinating and it's incredible to hear how you've created a jewelry business in two different countries, opposite ends of the world, and thriving in both instances and always finding new things. If people want to come and connect with you and see your jewelry and see some of these beautiful pieces we've been talking about, where is the best place for them to find you?
Okay, so I have a website. It's rizajewelry.co.uk. It's not great, but you can contact me.
It's tough. It's good enough to see.
Definitely my Instagram, at by Riza. Yeah, I'm always on my Instagram. And also there's stockists in Brighton, that you can find a small piece of, small collection there as well.
Brilliant. We'll make sure we put all of that in the show notes. Definitely go and give Riza a follow and congratulate her on the podcast. It's your first podcast, isn't it?
Yes.
Done. And she's just so lovely, so supportive, so encouraging. So definitely come say hi and come do a class with us in Brighton if you're anywhere near us or if you want a holiday, you're always welcome. And yeah, we just wish you the best of luck, Lisa. We're super proud of you for everything that you've done and things that you'll go on to achieve. So well done and
Thank
good luck for the final bits of the advanced diploma. And yeah, thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back here next week with another episode.